Hello everybody, my name is Bob, and we're playing Banished. Now there's a few things I want to say about this before I get started. First, I love this game. It's an awesome game. And at first, sort of the difficulty of getting your village started is probably a big part of getting you hooked initially. But beyond a certain point, it's not that difficult. And so there's something else about it somehow that's addictive. It's like having a medieval village in a bottle, you know. Anyway, it's awesome. Another thing I want to say about this game is it's essentially the work of a single person, which is almost unheard of these days. I remember back in the day. Let me turn this a little down a little bit. Back in the day, that was not that uncommon. I remember the then Dan Button came out with 7 Cities of Gold for the Commodore 64, and essentially made that game with his brother. And some other games that were really breakthroughs at that time. But nowadays, games are almost always made by committees. I mean, some of those games are great. But what you don't get with those games is that idiosyncratic individual voice, because it's all going to be sort of filtered through a collaboration, a committee, or whatever. So you have some great games that are made that way, some really great games, and certain technological advancements in gaming probably could only be done that way. But what you're going to miss with that is these little idiosyncratic games that are not simply games, but really expressions of a single person's vision of what they want. And sometimes it doesn't work out that well. Sometimes it works out very well. And you get all sorts of compromises in making of modern games, to the point sometimes where it's just a muddle. If you can compare this game, which was made by a single person, essentially. I don't know whether he got help with the music or whatever. And then you compare SimCity, the new SimCity, which is a good game, but it's obvious that they're simply following the formula. You know, they don't have that coherence of vision, that willingness to break the molds that you're going to get with a small setup like this. And then again, this is essentially the work of one person, which is amazing. That one person in this day and age can still make games. I don't. The guy must. I forget what. I don't know what his name is. The guy must not have a life, because I know it's difficult to do. But he did it, and so this is what we have: Banished. What I'm going to do is sort of partially in the way of a tutorial. By the way, before you watch this video, if you have Banished, I would highly recommend that you do use the tutorials that are in Banished, because they're very excellent, explain things very well. And I would recommend, actually, if you just got Banished and you're tuning into me to see what's going on, I would recommend that you sorry, not watch this video, do the tutorials, and then just do some stuff on your own, because I'm going to sort of give you the benefit of hours of trial and error on my part, but you know, that process of finding out how things work is part of the fun. So if you're just started playing Banished, or maybe you just bought it and you haven't loaded it up yet and you're looking at the video to see what's going on, I would highly recommend that you just do the tutorials and then play the game. And then after you've played for a while, you can come back and watch this, because that's part of the fun, is figuring out how things work. But I'll be giving you, to the extent that I know them, sort of the advanced pro tips. So you may want to not ruin that part for yourself. So it's a kind of a spoiler alert. We're going to do a new game. So this is going to be sort of partially a tutorial and partially a let's play. It's going to be a let's play, but with me focusing on things that tips and tricks that you might find useful. We're going to do a new game. We're going to call a town. Doddenberg. The train type. If you go with mountains, that's a much more difficult game. You don't have much flat space. So we'll go with valleys. Train size, we'll go with large. It's going to take a while for it to start up the first time when it's first building that map. Okay, climate, fair. Harsh, obviously, is much harder. Mild is a little bit easier. Disasters on. Disasters will be like tornadoes, which I've not encountered yet, and fires, which I have encountered. Starting conditions, hard. The difference here is not in the actual gameplay itself, but it's in how much stuff you have starting out. Now, when you start out on hard, you basically have a wagon full of stuff and some people, and that's it. You don't even have seeds to plant crops with. You don't have livestock. Basically, bunch of guys, a wagon with a few supplies, that's it. Once you get started, though, playing with hard starting conditions is not any different from playing on any other, starting conditions. It's just the way you start out. So we're going to start out with a hard starting conditions. Okay, Doddenberg. It is still possible that I could screw up a town. I haven't done it in a while. So we may be learning some things together here. Now, I've only done one previous game on hard. Thing is, I switched from hard to a medium game because I wanted to get some seeds starting out, but it really wasn't any different to speak of. In a way, starting on hard can kind of narrow you down to survival. You know, you're not getting bogged down in a bunch of other stuff. So in a way, it could be good. Let's hit OK. And it's going to take a while to generate. Okay, here we are, a bunch of colonists and a wagon in the forest. Let's zoom out and take a look at what we got here. This potentially could be a pretty tough spot because there's not really that much room to place our... well, we can put a managed forest here. I'll get into that in a bit, but we can probably put that there. It's not that big of a deal. Maybe have another second managed forest there. There's lots of room over here, so... Okay. Use your Q and E keys to rotate. First thing we're going to do is put down a stockpile. Go ahead and make it larger than you think you need. Pretty close to whatever the maximum size is. Now we don't have a lot of land already cleared here, so they're going to have to go ahead and clear that land. It shouldn't require any kind of builders for that. We're also going to put down some houses. T and R keys to rotate the houses. I don't know if I need 4 or 5. Okay, so stockpile is done. We'll go wandering off there, guys. Okay, we need to assign some builders. Yeah, we only start out with 8 folks. Guys, I've assigned you a project here. Let's get going with it. Oh, fuck, I need to... Yeah, I need to get some materials going. we're just going to clear all this. Go ahead and take those two guys off of those right now until we get that cleared. Well, actually, no, we have some stuff in there, so we'll go ahead and assign one person to build. You can speed up time if you want to. Problem is that you're much more likely to have problems arise that you're not aware of if you go fast. Most of the time now, I typically go at like 2x speed. That allows me to speed things up a little bit, but also have a pretty tight control over what's going on. And on our storage cart we have 100 firewood, 6 hide coats, 12 tools, and 1,200 potatoes. We got a little bit of a ridge in between where the folks are and the place where probably we're going to have the our first managed floor. No, we're going to have it right there. That's fine. And we should be able to have a road there if we want to. Okay. We'll go ahead and get a, I know we're probably low on firewood, probably what they're saying there. We'll go ahead and get a gatherer's hut going here, because we're going to need that food. Go ahead and remove all this too. Now you can cherry pick what kind of situation you have. If you start up a game and go, man, that position really sucks. Like if I was going to cherry pick, I probably wouldn't cherry pick a situation like this. This is pretty confined, but I'm just going to go with it. But if you're just starting a game on hard and you feel like you want to make sure you get a prime location for it, you can always load up a game, take a look at the surroundings, and then decide, well, that sucks, and go pick something to try it again and see if we get a better one. Because there are definitely better and worse maps as far as survival goes. Probably if I had it, logs, yeah. Probably if I had to do differently, I would not worry about digging that up, because time is of the essence when you're first starting out. And so if I had to do differently, I probably would go ahead and not. There's what we're going to do right here. Cancel that. We are not going to need that right now. That's an iron deposit. The darker stones are iron. Lighter stones like up here, that's stone. Now we will need stone though, so go ahead and remove that. You got to make sure that your people are not so bogged down in whatever they're doing at the moment that they can't respond to more pressing matters. You can also change priority of a task using this button. Let's go and pop out. It is late spring. The worst predations of winter have not fallen upon us. Winters in the game can be very harsh. If you want to lay out a structure, but you're not ready to build it yet, like we're going to need a storage barn pretty quickly. We don't really need to do this just a second. So what we'll do is we'll set it down, and then we'll go ahead and pause. And then we'll get that going later after we get the storage hunt done. I mean the gatherers hunt done, and probably after we get a woodcutter. That's a bit of a walk for them, but we don't really have a lot of choice. Yeah. Yeah, see these two guys, well, this will happen. These two guys have taken like 500 potatoes apiece or something. They can be kind of greedy, which means that these guys might be surviving okay for a little while anyway. The other folks could just wind up starving, and you don't want that. Now we only have 202 potatoes left. So because these assholes are greedy, we may have some folks starve. But with luck we'll get the gatherers hut up and going pretty quick. Alright, so we got some guys clearing the spot for the gatherers hut. Now, once it's summer now, so they don't really need heat or firewood. Once winter comes, if they don't have firewood, they will start to freeze to death. Yes, freeze to death. Oh, I don't doubt it. I'm going to go ahead and pause construction on this one because I don't know whether these people will all fit into 4 houses or whether I'll need them. So I guess it's possible that 4 houses may do it. So we don't want to have a house, build a house, and then not have food or firewood to put in that house, because then those people will starve. in the later going, I'm probably going to skip past some parts of it, but right now, this is the first couple of years is really the critical period of time for your village. If you survive past year 2 or 3, probably you're going to be okay. I mean, barring some major act of stupidity or catastrophe on your part or the part of the game. But getting past the first couple of years is tough. Yeah, we didn't really need that iron. We'll probably need some, but we don't need nearly that much. I only have 6 hide coat and 8 iron tools. That's gonna suck. If they don't have tools, they start trying to cut down trees with their bare hands or some shit, and it doesn't really work real well. So that's one possible catastrophe scenario is if you run out of tools, that can bog your work down to the point where you can't get anything done, and your people either freeze or starve to your death. Okay, we got got that started right there. That's good. All right, what are our builders doing? Talk to me. Okay, so we need to get the builders going on that. Alright, well, we got oodles of shit here, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel all work over there. Maybe getting working building on shit. Yeah, I bet you're cold. It's because somebody stole all the firewood. It's okay, we're gonna have the woodcutters here going pretty quick. Let's go ahead and crank up the number of builders. Now, see these symbols here? That says they're hungry. They're hungry. They're going to start starving. On a gatherer's hut. If you want to raise the priority of a task, this button increases priority. Although really this is almost equal priority because without firewood they're going to start to freeze to death. And without food they're going to start to starve to death. You have any food at all? No. And they won't go to their neighbors to get food apparently. Our most pressing need is these guys are going to starve. So we need to go get the gathering hunt going. Yep, obtaining the laborers died of starvation. No, that sucks hard. Also, well, it didn't seem to have affected it yet. But usually, if you have somebody die and you don't have a cemetery, okay, hold on. You need to assign gatherers right away. If somebody dies and you don't have a cemetery, that makes people less happy. But they seem to be okay happy right now. Bunch of these assholes take all the food. That guy's gonna die. Or, yeah, that guy. Rosevelin. Now for the immediate time being, this wagon will act as a storage barn, but it's at a very small capacity, so okay, yep, we need to get a woodcutter going right away. Okay, go ahead and unpause this. Logs and stone look pretty good for what we're going to need to do right away. Yep, Rosevelin has died. These selfish bastards took all the food. And these guys will be dying soon too, because they moved into the house. But there's no food for them. Okay, get some fucking good food going, man. And they will starve to death very quickly. It's unfortunate. He's the woodcutter. That's unfortunate. And she's a gatherer as well. That sort of sucks. Hopefully we get some food going before long. Nope, logs. Okay, we really need some food. Now when you start out, all your workers are educated. After the first generation, they will all be uneducated after that, which means they won't work as efficiently until you get a school to educate your kids. Also, if you have a school and like your teacher dies and there's nobody to replace them, that generation of kids will also grow up to be stupid, uneducated. Oh, you actually got some food. Excellent. Well, maybe we can stop the whole starvation thing. Okay. Well, we lost 2 folks. That is unfortunate. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out some houses, but I'm not going to let them be built yet. Pause all these. Okay, we've got a barn up. We'll go ahead and remove this. Tools. 2 things that we're going to have a problem with is tools and clothing. They're out of tools, and tools is a critical issue. We'll go ahead and get that going. Okay.